Quarterback, you mentioned him, Anthony. That's Kyler Murray. He is ninth on our list. Finished as a QB 26 last year, but obviously we know he played in 8 games as he recovered from that knee injury from the year prior. Listen, this is a guy that when he's out there, he plays well. I have him ranked as my QB 7. As I always love to tell you, it's more about the competition at the position. I'm going to go to Pete first on this one. Pete, Kyler Murray playing in that NFC West. What do you think he's going to be able to produce here for fantasy, hopefully with a full season?
Yeah, so Kyler Murray is my quarterback 5. I know it feels a little spicy, but he is my quarterback 5.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm standing on that.
He's my 6. He's my 6. So I'm with you here.
Yeah, he's Richardson and him swapped. I had Richardson at 5 for a while, and then I try to lean on my conviction and stick with it. But look, upgraded wide receiver room. I think it's the best collection of weapons that he's ever had. We talked about this the other day. Look, Kyler Murray plays in 11 dome games. He plays in good weather. Weather's not going to be a factor in 11 of those games. The games that he plays away are in Buffalo and Green Bay. Now, that may scare you because there's a bad weather stadiums. Plays Buffalo in the first 2 weeks of the season and Green Bay in the first 6 weeks. So you got to assume unless there's rain, it's not going to be freezing cold. Right. And I can't predict the weather, but those are the tougher, environments that he plays in. On top of that, he plays in Miami, which is one of the non-dome games as well. Okay. Miami doesn't get too cold unless there's, again, unless it's raining and it's bad weather. Can't predict that. I'm just trying to project. His playoff schedule is against the New England Patriots, the Carolina Panthers, and the Rams. 2 of those games will be played in a dome. Okay, so he's got a good playoff schedule. The Panthers defense, Pats, and the Rams, all those defenses are probably going to be somewhere between 10 to 20, maybe one of them slipping even into the bottom 20 in the NFL, or the bottom 10 of the year. Pats defense is good. That's why I said 10. I could see the Pats being like the 10th best defense. But neither here nor there. Quarterback finishes wise, he's finished in the top 5 in his career 2 times. That would be 40% of his career. He's finished in the top 5. Out of this whole entire list, out of 12 players, only 4 players have finished in the top 5 for fantasy points per game 40% or more times. So he's got a good track record. He's been able to do it. We've seen him. And he's the cheapest guy of the bunch that we've talked about. He also is playing with an awful defense, which is going to lead to a game script that's going to make him probably throw the football. So I love Kyler Murray. Unfortunately, his cost has gone up since what it was earlier on in the offseason when he was quarterback 11, 10, that area. He sits at somewhere around that like 7 to 9 range, but it's still not that expensive of a price. And I love Kyler Murray this year, the rushing upside. Hopefully we get another year fully healthy because outside of the ACL injury, he hasn't really missed a ton of games. He missed games last year because he wasn't healthy to start the year. And then the year prior, he missed games because he tore the ACL. Prior to that, he hasn't had an injury history, a big injury history in his entire career. I love him this year. He's my quarterback 5, and I'll stick with that.
Steve, what about you? Kyler Murray, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I have him as QB1. I got him in the 12th spot. But I got 2 ahead of him. I got Brock Purdy ahead of him.
Wait.
He has him finishing as a QB1. Like a top 12 quarterback.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
I mean, I did put in the chat that calm down over there, Pete.
No, I thought you said he was QB1. I was gonna say, I mean, I'm high, but QB1, geez.
No, I must have missed something. No, I did say in the chat that I would probably maybe put Murray ahead of Purdy. But it's close. I think it's solid that Murray is now a year off that ACL. I do like McBride, obviously Harrison Jr. But the thing about Murray, what I like is I like the value of him, where in years prior, you definitely had to kind of leap up and get him a little bit earlier. So for where you can get him, the ability to, stack with, McBride or Harrison, even though you got to take Harrison like in the first round. I don't mind it so much. You could pair him with McBride as well. And then if you want to go further down the line, you could do like a Zay Jones. something like, or like Michael Wilson, something like that. But yeah, I think Purdy's going to have a bounce. I mean, Murray's going to have a bounce back season. You get him in round 8. He's got to start running again a little bit. And I think he could do that now that he's getting healthier. That's what made him so dynamite when he had that huge season in 2020. And he was, I remember playing against him in fantasy and it was not fun. So if he could just do a little bit of that and get his numbers up a little bit rushing wise, he could definitely elevate like to the top 7. So yeah, I like the value of Murray this year, and that's mostly why I'm in on him.
All right. So